Go.
And a very good evening and a warm welcome to all the Heidelberg family, men, women, boys, girls, and all the little ones. Gather around your watching device. We're at ABD Stadium here in northern Broadmeadows, and it is the semi-final of the 2018 Dockerty Cup, Northcote City's home game. So it's Northcote City against Heidelberg United as this wild, wild ride continues, brought to you by Windsor Management Insurance Brokers. One thing I can assure you of, it's very still, it's very quiet, there isn't a big crowd, and it is frigid cold. There's some mist across the ground already. It's around about 8 degrees as we go to air on HUFC TV tonight. As I say, a very good evening to John Fodinos. Jay Fott, how are you tracking?
Very well, Blakey, and it's great to be here. The Burgers playing Northcote City in the second semi-final, the winner to go through and play Bentley Green. So could it possibly be a rematch of 2017 Dockerty Cup final?
I suspect it'll be a case of don't get ahead of yourself. It's going to be a big semi-final. Northcote City are certainly going to be up for it as the two sides come out onto ABD. It's a really small crowd tonight. I'm not surprised because it is a terribly, terribly cold night.
Mercifully, no wind, as you said, Greg, but that mist is going to roll in. It looks like it's already started. And
well, they're actually saying there's fog on the way. It's a cold night. So if you're watching, the surface is going to be a bit tricky too. I was down there watching both sides warming up a little earlier. It's a little bit slippery already.
Yeah, the ball's slick around, and it's going to take a bit of getting used to. It's a bigger ground than probably both Northcote City and Heidelberg's ground. One player, Greg, who will have some sort of knowledge here is Attila Offley, who makes a return to the starting lineup this evening for the Burgers, who of course spent time here as a player of Hume City, whose home ground this is.
Now, given there has been a lot of interchangeable cogs in the Heidelberg wheel because of injury, suspension and everything else, so a couple of changes again since that weekend match, that stroll at Catalina Street against Oakley, 3-0. They come into this one. Who's in? Who's out?
Who's in? Certainly the players coming into the lineup Attila Offley and player that and Harry Noon making a start, and Sean Ellis also making a start, who didn't start on at the weekend, and also Lewis Hall. The players out, Paul O'Brien, who sustained a bit of a foot injury, but hopefully he'll be good for next couple of weeks. And the other player coming onto the bench, who we haven't seen for a while, the little cat on the sub bench, and Adrian Zara on the sub bench, and Big Alex on the sub bench. So strong lineup nonetheless, Greg, with Tom Cale, Harry Noon, Sean Ellis and Attila Offley, all good forward options for the Burgers.
As always, strong ins and strong outs, and just as it happened last season, that sort of mini injury crisis has abated for the time being as we get ready for a start. Last four action. Winner of this one goes on to the final. Loser of this one goes home tonight, and that's all she wrote for the Dockerty Cup for them in 2018. Windsor Management Insurance Brokers, Heidelberg.
We might go through later on how the teams got to this point, but we'll wait for the kickoff, Greg.
So Heidelberg, first use of the footy, going to the right of screen toward the... got no idea our reference point.
Well, that's the northern end.
The northern end, beautiful. Yeah. Heidelberg in the yellow and black as always, and Northcote City in the all blue colours to the left of screen down to the tree-lined what end?
The city end. That'll
do. That's beautiful. Luke Biles, left foot, upfield. Offley, first touch of the game for the Predator. The up and under from Petrie is a good hit for Harry Noon out wide. Or is it Cahill?
That was Cahill, actually.
Gee, the mist is already starting to set. It's actually...
It just really, you can see that, and excuse us because on the far side of the ground it is hard to pick up sometimes.
And it's going to get worse. They're telling me there's fog rolling in from Ballarat way as Les Dumbalis with the fetch and...
That familiar loping style of his, Greg.
He will launch it from that grandstand side. Les Dumbalis gets deep into the penalty area. Cahill flies, he spirals, he corkscrews and gives away a free kick. So it will be a Northcote ball. As the gloves go up, go on up here in comms? It looks like a team of surgeons preparing for an operation. Everybody's...
well, the A-team's back, Greg, and we've got to do this with precision.
Have we got to do without Calum?
Live with it. Poor old Calum. He had his defining moment on Sunday, and now he's pulled a sickie. He was exhausted from his efforts on the weekend. As
I hear
Fraser Chalmers will launch it for Northcote.
I hear the fans are camped outside his house, and he can't leave.
Back into Heidelberg's attacking half. It's been a big season. Sean Ellis goes up and under. Cahill running back from an offside position. Harry Noob made a run of it. Northcote will clear. That's Bogless, long ball. Biles has it covered, angles it out of play in front of the coaches' boxes. And it will be a Northcote City throw in 2 minutes in, thanks to Windsor management. No score. Northcote hosting Heidelberg here at ABD, neutral venue for this Dockerty Cup semi-final. Exclusive coverage on HUFC TV. The run coming from Hoskins goes inside. Mancini tried to stretch Heidelberg to the right-hand side. Great speared ball into the box. Well, great-ish, but Luke Biles was there to clear it. Long ball out of defence. Too long for Shawnee Ellis, and Northcote will start where they started a couple of moments ago with a throw in front of the broadcast position.
That's Madaffrey below us there, Greg.
He waits and issues some instructions.
The referee just pushing him back a few metres. Halfway line, yep.
So third game for Heidelberg in 8 days, but they're used to these hectic schedules. Northcote in possession, back footing it. Safety first. Hook to the goalkeeper from Charlie Beverley, the captain, to Fraser Chalmers. Quick restart. Nope, back to Chalmers again. He'll have a long look up. He just takes a pace or two outside his penalty area. I wonder how many supporters weren't able to make it tonight after staying up for
the big Socceroos game.
Very late night last night. JW for the skipper, Luke Biles. Raking left footer, takes a cannon off a Northcote player.
Very sedate start so far. There's no real pattern established yet. It's just both teams just trying to get used to the conditions and the run of the ball.
4 minutes in, Windsor management 0-0 Cup semi-final. The defending champs in the Dockerty Cup. Heidelberg United won it for the first time last year's sensational final against Bentley Greens.
Yeah, that was an amazing penalty shootout in the end.
Took Heidelberg 59 years to win a competition that's 108 years old. Is it 108? No, 1908. So it's 110 years old. Unbelievable. It's the longest running competition in the country, the Dockerty Cup. So got some history. First winners, Carlton United, not the Beard. Long ball, Northcote on the move.
Hoskins offside, Greg.
So it'll be a Heidelberg ball again, and you're quite right, quite a sedate opening.
Yes, certainly nothing like last Sunday at the Olympic Village when the Burgers were 2 up within the first 11 minutes, as Luke Biles will go all the way back to the hyphen.
Good Lord, it's cold up here, Jay Fott. The boys down there will be quite happy to be out there on the paddock and getting a run round as the hyphenator starts the move from the back. Luke Biles carefully looks upfield. Long down that outside left lane. Got the trajectory all wrong on that, and it will be a throw to Northcote City.
It'll be interesting to see how the Burgers play the front line there. You can see at the moment Tom Cale and Sean Ellis, the two most forward players at the moment, but I'm sure they'll interchange a number of times throughout the evening. You'll find certain stages Harry Noon will push up and perhaps Attila Offley at various other stages.
Well, last time these two teams met, of course, was at the John Cain earlier in the season, and what a controversial day that was with Sean Ellis and, as the ball goes back to the keeper, Sean Ellis.
Harry Noon, who got battered from pillar to post.
He did indeed. He was hospitalised, and of course...
Andreas Govas with a season-ending knee injury that game, Greg.
So that was another one of the tough ones that Heidelberg has successfully negotiated in 2018.
Yeah, that was a 1-0 win. Big Alex scoring the only goal of the game midway through the first half, and that was enough to give the Burgers all 3 points.
Exchange between Harvey Reid and the captain ends with the former. He goes long. Cahill buffeted out of the contest. Ball on the deck. Dumbalis, safety first. Skipper just inside Heidelberg's defensive half. 6.5 play. Jack Petrie. It's been a really, well, not casual. It's just been a really...
There's no intensity at the moment, Greg.
That's the word I was looking for, Jay. But I'm glad you're here. JW on the sideline. And an unusual...
It's almost like a warm-up training run at the moment. Neither side has really hit their straps yet.
Both sides, of course, playing on the weekend. Harry Noon corralled near midfield. Does it well to find a gap back for Wilkins. Turned over. Run clear by Theodoropoulos. Given away. Dumbalis. And again, that was a poor giveaway as well. Swivenbank. Long and high. Salados.
Yeah, that's Boglis, that one.
Boglis, rather. Swivenbank again.
That's Salados there. Good run.
All around the corner for Mancini. Into the danger zone. The hyphenators stayed. The ball's still in play. Hesitate and then go from Boglis. And out of play.
That was Hoskin there that got in on the end of that cross and just couldn't get any power on the shot, Greg, and safely away for a goal kick. But as we said, very casual play there by, first of all, Theodoropoulos giving the ball away, and then Les Dumbalis in kind turning the ball over to Swidenbank.
So Heidelberg, of course, getting the easy passage into the semi-final, if you will, or into the last four.
Oh, the easier, I guess.
Easier qualifying game. What a heart-stopper it was last Wednesday night at Catalina Street. They got up by 3-2 against Avondale.
Yeah, that was 2 goals. Just to remind everyone, 2 goals
in injury time.
Unbelievable. Of the second half. And
8.5 gone here, no score. The road for Northcote's been significantly more difficult as JW carves the ball through the night sky down that right-hand lane. Ellis keeps it in play on his left foot, corner of the penalty area. Cahill is overrun by defenders and he gives away the free kick. Does Tommy Cahill? Right
just
on
a
the
bit
edge of the Heidelberg, the Northcote penalty area.
Indicative of the slow start there. Sean Ellis, while everyone else was wondering where that was going, he made the play, but then Tom Carr with a heavy first touch that time, Greg.
I'm going to make an observation. It's not just the way the game started. It's kind of a surreal feel to
very
the game.
Very flat
tonight,
at the moment, isn't it?
Very flat. The crowd not much of a crowd, to be honest, for a Dockerty Cup semi-final. Hardy road supporters from Heidelberg is charmed. Oh, acrobatic leap by Wilkins. Ellis, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was just wonderful as Wilkins gets legged, but Sean Ellis produces another one of those little party tricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's like he had it on a string.
He's good. He was like a hacky stack player then.
There it is, Greg. You can see it there.
Look at that.
Just mesmerised them that time.
He's good. He's good. The flame-haired Scotsman, JW, long and high, looking for Harry. Nothing doing. Petrie with the jump. Lewis.
Oh, he stopped
and
there.
Theodoropoulos gets a run at it. I would have thought there was a free kick. Nothing called. Outside run. Mancini.
That's
Salados,
Greg.
Salados, rather. Excuse me, Jay Fott. And that was ugly. Straight into the path of Petrie. Angles it. Harry.
He gets robbed.
Beaten to it. Stolen by Wong. Harry steals it back.
And you did grab him there, Greg.
And it's a free kick to Northcote City in a scoreless game. 10.5 played.
And Greg, you know with these games, ladder position means nothing because the Burgers, as we know, are on top of the ladder in the NPL here in Victoria. And Northcote City in one of the relegation fight-off spots. But that means nothing in these northern derbies. Northcote City love nothing better than serving it up to Heidelberg.
Salados, as you called it so accurately a minute ago, nearly 11 played, scoreless, Windsor management. Jay Fott, Blakey, Spielberg on the dials. John on camera, back spinner, headed clear.
That was Tumbalis.
Petrie, Toe poke over the top. Cahill does well to control it, claims a handball. Might have kept running at it then, Tommy Cahill. In the end, it's all the way back for Fraser Chalmers.
And he had Offley making the run there. Could have almost linked up with him as Salados will cushion the header down.
Northcote well in this at this point. They'll be a little bit, they'll be confident, I would have thought. Harvey Reid unsure. Went to play it back upfield in the end, took the hyphenator option, and that's a good one. Lofted high for Offley, chest it down. Northcote come up with the loose ball. Well anticipated, JW. Because waiting on the other side was Bogless. JW almost to midfield, skews it inside for Harry again. Robbed was Harry by Swithenbank.
Just a little bit off the pace at the moment, the Burgers.
That's a fair call as JW. Just inside attacking territory. 12 played on HFC TV. No score. Dockerty Cup semi-final. Loser goes home and stays home as far as the Dockerty Cup's concerned. So no big pardons tonight. Cahill playing deep back for Reid, who's just fitted in seamlessly, hasn't he, Harvey Reid?
Yeah, it looks good.
JW again back with the ball. So they're content just to
keep possession.
Recalibrate from the back half. Biles angles it outside. Dumbalis, the skipper again. And a bit of a cheap giveaway in the end by Heidelberg. It's just something off.
Yeah,
there's something off. As
don't look sharp at all tonight so far.
As Northcote come again. Cut out header from JW. Almost the Northcote player, but Ellis kept him honest. Here they come again. It's Bogless. This time goes outside JW, who's shrewd enough just to unbalance the Northcote player and then casually strokes it away. Ellis, square ball inside, almost dangerous. Reid just has to keep it on the carpet, gently back for the hyphenator. Dumbalis now in front of the grandstand. Offley to Cahill at midfield. Getting the treatment as always, the top cat. Back for Dumbalis. And again, we restart from just outside our own penalty area. 13, almost 14 away. Northcote City nil. Heidelberg, the champs in this particular competition. One of 3 trophies they'll be defending this year. Oops, a daisy. And again, Silados through the gap. The little nimble Silados took a cannon off Harvey. And it's going out of play for a corner to Northcote.
Yeah, just guilty of a bit of casualness there, Greg, or if that's the right word. They're just casually giving the ball away, and a player like Salados is very dangerous on the counter-attack, almost causing a few problems there, but Harvey Reid getting the challenge in and forcing a corner, though. But certainly Northcote have looked more dangerous at the moment, but I reckon they've been aided in a little bit by the casual approach so far by Heidelberg.
So it's a corner to Northcote City, our northern neighbours, Heidelberg. And the shot is lined up from long range by Mancini and not even close, Your Honour.
Yeah, that was heading towards Melbourne Airport, that one, Greg.
We're right in the flight path here, aren't we, at ABD Stadium on this Wednesday evening. It's down to 7 degrees now.
Yeah, I'm expecting the 5:45 from Newcastle, Greg, overhead any minute now.
So it'll be Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos to get Heidelberg moving. Long ball midfield, Cahill header on. Harry can't reach it. Petrie, the clean-up duty. Cahill unsure.
Again,
for Lewis, had to work for it and did. This goes short and wide to JW. Ellis, still at half field. Shawnee Ellis, the factor. Harvey in the number 12.
And this is good tactics by Northcote. They're just forcing Heidelberg back at every opportunity here, and the Heidelberg's forced to be very patient at the moment. You can see again there, they're just, that last pass not really on target, and they're able to pick it off.
Jack Petrie, the jumping jack, outside for JW, hasn't unleashed The
Oh,
8
goodness.
cylinders given
again.
away and on the run, Theodoropoulos.
He's got
Theodoropoulos angles left, goes right, shot off the ankles of the skipper. He might get a second look. Luke Biles.
We've got held Luke Biles.
So the call goes Heidelberg's way.
But again, Greg, we've said it 3 or 4 times. And there was a bit of miscommunication there as well. Not only did they give the ball away, but then both players stopped and looked at each other, wondering who was going to go pick it up.
And they were away.
But they got away with it again. But tell you what, they wouldn't want to be doing that much more tonight. They will get punished at some point.
So Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos in this Cup semi-final. Cahill at midfield. He's brave in the air. He's brave anywhere on the paddock. Is Tommy Cahill. The up and under won't challenge JW, who just trundles back, drags it in, has a look, ambles about 10 metres forward, stands the football, squares for Harvey Reid, and here we go again. Harvey goes right, left. Attila Offley is there, beaten in the air emphatically by Mancini, who puts it over the line in a 0-0 game, 17 and a half played. Cup semi-final action, ABD Stadium, Wednesday night, freezing conditions. Joe Fotten-Blakey, along with Spielberg and John on camera.
And John's right on top of us here in this scaffolding here.
He's on top of everything. He's a superstar. Best cameraman in the NPL, I've got no doubt. Nope. And away. Northcote will get manoeuvre the ball clear. It's Hoskins. Goes inside. Northcote patient again.
You can see they're growing in confidence, Greg Northcote.
They're well in this at the moment. And I reckon they know that the boys, the Warriors, are just a little bit off as Ellis powers the left foot upfield to get the clearance.
Yeah, as I said, no ladder positions mean nothing in these cup games because it's who brings it to the table on the night.
It's particularly interesting as you see George Katsakis up off the bench clapping his hands.
It was only a couple of hours ago he got released from hospital.
Yeah.
Indeed, he's
wish him well.
Bravely come in from his hospital bed. And there was a suggestion he wasn't going to be on the bench tonight, that the excitement might be a little bit too much for him, but there he is, setting the example for his players. Shawnee Ellis tries to run the gauntlet. Got past 2, but...
Madaffrey, I think it was, that got the last challenge.
Madaffrey did indeed get the last challenge, so it's a Heidelberg ball.
So neither side's really created much at the moment, Greg.
It's a really good call. You mentioned intensity before. For a cup final where there's no tomorrow, or a cup semi-final, it's just lacking that edge, isn't it? Perhaps.
Well, Northcote certainly looking the more dangerous going forward.
Theodoropoulos, well, he was impeded, or was he? JW?
He was. He's paid the first one.
He paid the first one because the second one wasn't even a consideration, and that will put Northcote City again in a position to threaten.
Well, the number 9,
Warrior
William
machine.
Hoskins, has been really good so far, collecting the ball, driving at the defence, and Heidelberg a couple of times have been on the back foot. So the Northcote City side really serving it up to Heidelberg in this first 20 minutes.
Indeed, it is spot on 20 minutes in a 0-0 game, Cup semi-final. Saladas will launch it. And number 45, he's got gloves and long sleeves on. 7 degrees as we call the action from ABD.
That mist certainly starting to roll in a bit, Greg. We can see it. Don't know if you can see it there in that far corner, the top right of your screen.
Saladas waits. Delicate over the top, and Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos with a pluck, and with pluck averts a crisis.
Yeah, that was a nice ball, a dangerous ball floated in there, and it might have come off there, but he just beautiful positioning. Never looked like missing that one.
That was a beauty from the hyphenator.
But they're certainly firing the warning shots at the moment, Northcote City.
Ball in dispute at midfield, and Northcote come up with it in a series of willing challenges. Long striding Lewis not particularly happy with the call from the referee. It's a Northcote ball. Now Lewis is going to get a speaking to sternly. He towering over the referee who's trying to assert his authority. Jack Petrie pleading a case as well.
Well, have we ever seen them change decision? There's no VAR here, so there certainly can't be any overrule.
So it's a Northcote ball about 5 or so metres inside their own half. Not now. It's played back again to
Beverly,
the skipper, launches it.
Just down by...
More danger for Heidelberg. Wong in trouble. Again, they come. Chopped out by Sean Ellis. Harry Noon, angled wide, right in front of the commentary position. He's closed down, takes a detour, does Harry Noon. JW, first time, long time, down the line, right lane, wide right. Cahill's caught. Ellis there for the release. Ellis dances toward the line, backed himself against the defender who did really well in a physical contest. Well, that was a bit willing. Perhaps that's more the tone that we want to see.
Yeah, it was a bit of a figure 4 leg lock there at one stage, Greg. And eventually it'll be, is it a free kick or a goal kick?
It's a goal kick. Ball's out, went out of play, and supposedly Shawnee Ellis got the last touch to it. It's still a really odd feel about the stadium tonight. The mist is rolling. Something surreal about it. 22.5 played. Scoreless in a semi-final. Winner goes on to the big dance, and the loser, of course, is out of the comp. Lewis Hall with the head at the ground, lofted long and high by Svivenbank, and it'll take a lazy bounce back for Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos at that city end of the ground.
Yep.
Are you sure that's the city end?
Well, it's towards the city.
It's towards the city. Oh, okay.
The southern end.
Okay. You said the northern end before. I'm confused.
Oh, that's the northern end, to right of screen.
You are in life as in commentary. You are my magnet. What are those things?
I've got the
compass. You're my compass, John. Goodness gracious me.
The magnetic field's working well tonight, Greg.
Oh, it's so cold up here. Fraser Chalmers really wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do. Gives it to Beverly. Goes straight and long downfield. Northcote being patient.
It's just a game of chess at the moment. No one really prepared to really go all out attack.
Can't imagine them strolling through this game, both sides, like this for too long.
The longer it stays this way, Greg, Northcote will be fancy themselves even more.
Mancini was outnumbered and outgunned. Lewis Hall, ball pinballs around. Northcote come up with it.
Swivenbank.
One gets past Hall, can't get past JW. Hoskins, very theatrical. And then the Academy Award goes to as Heidelberg come away.
You're quite right, Greg. It's very slippery out there. You can see a lot of players struggling to keep their feet with any great surety. We saw Lewis Hall going over on his feet 10 or 15 seconds ago. But Northcote certainly have been the more sort of intense, if you could say anything, but it's not by much, but they certainly have shaded the Burgers in that level.
Exclusive coverage on HUFC TV, nearly 25 away, scoreless thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers. John, it has been a non-event thus far, to all intents and purposes.
They won't be needing insurance tonight the way we're going so far, because there's just nothing happening at the minute.
Lewis Hall, square ball, broadcast side, JW, leisurely back to Reed. Harvey Reed builds up a head of steam and then angles it for the skipper. So 6 passes across the ground, and they've really hadn't gone anywhere. Harvey Reed again. So Northcote really keeping the shutters down on Heidelberg at the moment. Harvey Reed again saunters toward midfield, hits it long and high, awfully charging towards the contest. Mancini away. Dumbalis joins the attack. Predator, not sure. Square, Petrie, chip pass over the top. Cahill and Chalmers, and the latter wins the foot race to the footy. So 25-40 played. Scoreless, Dockerty Cup semi-finals. 7 degrees at ABD, and the mist. Oh gee whiz! Look at
really
that. It's getting ominous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's because it's so still. There's nothing, no wind to just dissipate it. It's just going to sit here.
Yeah, absolutely. It may well get worse. That'll make for interesting playing, calling Lewis. JW. Not one big run from JW tonight, and he just hammered it upfield straight into Fraser Chalmers territory, and the Northcote goalkeeper obliges.
And Northcote happy to congest the play up, and happy for Heidelberg to play those long balls. They'll deal with that all day long or all night long.
JW manoeuvres toward midfield. Outside ball, Harry. We know he's got pace. Well done, though, by Beverley to skipper. He anticipated. Angled back for Chalmers. Long ball to midfield.
Again.
Danger again. And a flag was up against Theodoropoulos, I suspect. Marginal at best. Play goes on. Cahill beaten to the punch. Here they come in numbers. Spread right, left. Great striding run. Eliopoulos. Whoa, that was whizzing over the woodwork from Eliopoulos.
Well, he robbed Tommy Cale of the ball at halfway. And again, the Heidelberg defenders backing off. And that fizzed just over the bar. But so far, you've got to be fair, Greg. Northcote have been the side that's looked more threatening.
Oh, they've bought game, haven't they, John?
And a very good effort that time by Eliopoulos. Of course, he left Northcote City a couple of seasons ago, or in fact last season, and he's back here at the club in the mid-season transfer.
27.5 played, scoreless game. It's starting to heat up down in the cauldron now as Northcote boldly threaten the Invincibles from last season. What's the road for Northcote now? Their road to this particular juncture in the Dockerty Cup.
Well, this is sort of doubles up as the FFA Cup feeder comp. They played Mazenod victory in round 4, which is when the NPL clubs take their place, and then in round 5 defeated Green Gully. Round 6 they beat Murray United 1-0, and round 7, of course, qualifying for the FFA Cup round of 32, beating Altona Magic 2-0. So they've gone through without conceding a goal so far in this
You're a
comp.
Statistical dynamo. John has Northcote in possession, back half, just outside their own penalty area. Stepping through the trouble is Swivenbank, and in the end it goes back to Fraser Chalmers.
And Spielberg telling us some interesting information. Jacob Eliopoulos was a former junior player at Heidelberg who Spielberg coached, apparently.
I enjoy Spielberg coach. Okay, well that probably tells the story, doesn't it? As the referee is working his way back to
injury.
Hoskins, I think.
Who's the player?
No, he's got his boot off at the moment. He's been unbooted, debooted. It just was really interesting.
He's rebooting himself, is he?
That's very good, John. It was just interesting to note then as he gets his left boot back on and workable, was that Spielberg was so animated, and he gets terribly excited when he feels like he's got something to contribute, which is fantastic. Good on him.
So
as JW tosses it back to Luke Biles, it has been we've got some incoming. So we'll just go with the play though. Shawnee Ellis popped out of play. Did anybody see that pop up on the screen? What was that?
Seagull.
No, I saw something. I'm sure I did. I'm hallucinating.
Something popped out of the mist, Greg.
No, I think it was on yours, Jay. It's going to be a throw into Heidelberg anyway, with 30 played, no score. Header on, away, only as far as Petrie. Knocked clear by Boglis for Northcote. Silatis
does well. Kept his composure, and they'll go back and reset through Swidenbank. Mancini.
Silatis goes long and high. Kind of aimless. Luke Biles has all the time in the world to have a cup of tea and fetch and amble, and JW outside lane right, commentary side. Oh, that's gorgeous by Ellis. JW couldn't get a run out. That was really well done by Swivenbank then.
Oh, they've turned
almost.
It over.
There is a turnover. Harry with his back to goal turns. Look what he's got. Offley tried to hammer it. Was
just a little bit off balance.
In the end by Attila Offley. Didn't get the cannon happening, and Chalmers will clear again for Northcote in a scoreless game. I reckon we need a goal just about now.
Yeah, just been very, very lacklustre at the moment, the Burgers. And that's to be fair. They've had a fourth game, as you said, Greg, in about 10 or 11 days.
Ellis waits, calibrates, left foot through the gap. Jumping jack. Foot in by Silatis was well timed. He'll get it back, Silatis. A bounce over the head of Bogless coming through was JW. Bogless decided he'd hit the deck and in hope more than anything else, and it's going to be a Heidelberg ball from the sideline.
So we've gone over the half-hour mark, Greg, and there's just Northcote, you've got to be fair, have had the best chances so far.
Absolutely concur, Jafot.
Particularly the one by Iliopoulos, who fizzed one just over the bar.
JW going round the clock, and this time back to the hyphenator. First time, long time. Header clear by Beverley to midfield, right on the half line. 3 players from Northcote, 1 Jack Petrie from Heidelberg. He won it and gunned it.
He was looking for Offley, but
Silatis
again. And again.
Flag is down. The free kick is there as Reed topples Bogless. And again, gets a yellow card as well as Harvey Reed.
Well, Greg, that's that again. Hesitation again. You can, if we get that on the replay. No, we don't. But certainly a bit of hesitation again there between Reed and Luke Biles. Again, both on their haunches, and the player Bogless just coming through. He was the one that wanted the ball more, and in the end, a desperation tackle by Harvey Reed earns the number 12 a yellow card, Greg, the first of the evening. But they just really look lacklustre at the moment, Greg. Very flat at the moment. And certainly Northcote are up for it.
So Northcote with the free kick.
That miss is really coming in now, Greg.
It's rolling in, isn't it? It looks very much like a Hammer horror film right now. You understand a Hammer horror.
Yes, the old...
Thank you very much. Fog rolling in off the hillside into the graveyard.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not Heidelberg's graveyard tonight as they defend the Dockerty Cup. Yet another free kick from a dangerous position. Northcote City.
It looks like Charlie Beverley, the skipper.
Well, he took the time to do his hair, and now probably appropriate that we actually get the free kick happening as Beverley waits and looks. Rather elegant, like a ballerina, waiting to pas de deux. Beverley.
It's a bit wide.
Well, Chris Theodore, I was watching the hyphenator, and he watched me. I watched him watch it go out of play. Didn't make a move. He knew that was off target the whole time.
Wasn't far off target. That as the 6:30 from Newcastle. We are directly under that flight path, Greg.
That's a 7:15 to Bangalore, John. Know your aeroplanes.
Yeah, the mist just got me that time.
Right under the exit flight path international from Tullamarine International Airport. It's the first tonight. As Offley, look at the power run from Offley. It was wasted, but it was spectacular anyway. It's going to be a throw into Heidelberg. 34-35 played. Scoreless still in the semi-final.
And you're right, Greg. Very much like a Hammer horror film that missed roll.
It's just billowing onto the ground. It really does look quite eerie, to be honest.
Expecting to see Vincent Price pop out from somewhere.
Of course, the up and under ball again dangerous. JW had it covered. Header loops back into the arms of the hyphenator in a scoreless game under a very surreal weather conditions. 7 degrees, mist rolling in off the Highlands or whatever it is. Of course,
it's the lowlands.
Lowlands.
It's a valley down there.
Oh, I wouldn't have a clue. I couldn't even work out which end was north and south. That's how bad I'm travelling. HUFC TV action tonight. Exclusive coverage on the Warrior for the Warrior Nation. Lewis Hall at midfield.
Oh, good.
And he copped one. That is a yellow card.
The number 14, Theodoropoulos. on 36 minutes. So it's one apiece with the in the yellow card stakes.
Lewis has been having a long-running gun battle.
Yeah, just very dangerous slide in there. And
so, edging ever closer to half-time, about 9 remaining in regulation in a scoreless game.
Greg, would you say this has been about as lacklustre as Heidelberg has been all season so far?
They've just seemed off.
Second gear at the moment, and really seem to be struggling to get any pressure on them.
Outside ball for
Offley, that is.
Offley dances with it, going nowhere, hits the gap flying. Does Offley, edge of the box. The numbers are there. Does Offley get a free kick?
He got dragged down, Greg.
I can barely... I'm seriously, it's a better look on the actual screen. Here we are.
Yeah, he's just dancing around, Greg.
That looks a lot clearer than it does just to the naked eye. It's going to be a free kick to Heidelberg.
And that's great camera work by John.
He does he's a wonderful man, and he's a snappy dresser, Joe. If I take note. It's going to be a free kick to Heidelberg in a 0-0 game. They haven't threatened yet, Heidelberg.
No, this has been probably about the best sort of opportunity they've had.
So Cahill far post, Ellis very deep, Noon lurking at the top of the box. Harvey Reid going to mix it with the pack. Near post is long striding. And it didn't matter in the end. It just cannoned away. It wasn't even close as the up and under from Biles was in desperation. Hooked over the shoulder. Ellis, flag's gone up, won't count, doesn't matter. Northcote had to release anyway.
Yeah, Ellis caught offside that time.
Greatest musical of all time, in your opinion, John Forinos? Quickly.
Greatest musical.
Quickly.
Oklahoma.
Quickly. Okay, so this is... If Heidelberg is Oklahoma, this is an off-Broadway production that's not... you know it's great, and you want it to be better, but it's just not happening right now.
Probably still in pre-rehearsals, you would say.
It's just an odd half, if you're a Heidelberg supporter, where you're so used to...
Yeah, they've set such a high standard this year, and I'm sure that'll be talked about during the halftime break, that they're...
Which is only...
Really, it's really a lack of intensity at the moment, more than anything. They just...
perhaps there is... I mean,
credit to Northcote for that, in that instance as well, Greg.
And perhaps our expectations are particularly high as well after that display against Oakley on Sunday, when it was just exquisite footy that we watched.
They've been on a bit of a high in the last few games, scoring lots of goals, lots of drama.
So 30, and there's plenty of footy time left on this one, J Fott, so there's plenty of time for more drama. You're watching it all live on HUFC TV. As we await the throw-in, Northcote possession in their own half. Rolling maul of players, the ball forced out. It's going to be a Heidelberg ball now from the same position.
Yeah, it's very New Zealand rugby-like weather.
JW launches it back downfield. Harvey Reid, the newcomer, second start only. Oh, Cahill was brilliant. And at the end... Eliopoulos, I think, desperation to get it away because Shawnee Ellis had a sniff and the target was open.
Yeah, just trying to link up there with Tom Cahill, intelligent header back into the channel there.
I'm just wondering, certainly from up here, you can see it's a really palpable mist that's coming in. I wonder when you're down on the paddock what sort of vision they've got down there as Northcote come away, break away, burst away, and waste away. JW, speaking of wasteful, that was...
Again, it's just typical of the night, Greg. They've just been passes astray.
Silatus, rather.
And there's been a few quizzical looks at one another. A lot of hesitation.
Yeah, there has. I think they all just sense that...
I think everyone's sensing who's going to be the player that's going to provide that spark at the moment.
The bench tonight too, by the way, and I'm never going to forget mentioning Chris Pavlidis, the reserve goalkeeper, again, because we'd never mention him. Outfielders, the Cat, the Mexican, George Selakidis, and Alex Chavo are the bench outfielders for Heidelberg tonight. Northcote in possession in front of the grandstand thanks to Windsor management here at ABD Stadium. Not sure that whole sentence went together perfectly, but
yeah,
I
that
know
was
what we're getting on.
Luke Bowles tangling with Bogless that time.
So it's a free kick to Northcote in an interesting first half.
Well, in fairness, Northcote probably have had
they've been good.
The bulk of the play.
They've been good. Northcote City.
And of course, they'll have the free kick here.
Low and difficult. It takes a skid into the danger zone. It's still there. Sean Ellis, good. Great, Sean Ellis. Hoist it inboard. Noon will give chase.
Good pressure by Noon, forcing the turnover.
And Fraser Chalmers belts it out of play. JW restart, short. Petrie. Josh. Harvey Reid. Looks upfield. Long ball. Misses Cahill. Ellis gets the loose ball down. Petrie was cheeky as he tried to backheel it into the path of Cahill. Northcote could break again. Trouble for Heidelberg. Through midfield. Swivenbank. It's not Swivenbank, it's Hoskins. That's Swivenbank. Swivenbank left foot. Harry goes with him. Plays the shadow. Oops, a daisy. Oh, nearly off the line. Well, it was nearly an own goal. It was cleared twice. What drama, heart in mouth. Heidelberg almost go behind on 42 minutes.
Yeah, you can see they almost casually got to the line. The flick of Harvey Reid, and then the ball bobbling about, and the two Northcote players in the end got in each other's way.
It would have been easier for them to score than not score there, and not score they did.
Yeah, it came off the Northcote player in the end there, the number 14, Theodoropoulos, who virtually found the ball cannoning into him and over the bar.
Well, indeed. Well, the second or third of a couple, John, on this very, very cold night.
Full credit to Northcote. They've really taken it up to the Burgers tonight, who, to be fair, haven't been themselves this evening.
They set high standards in Warrior Land. Oh, JW went to ground after the play. That's got to be a free kick against Adam Bogless, who ploughed through JW. So it's going to be a free kick to Heidelberg. George Kitsakis up off the bench, having a word to the fourth official.
Yeah, complaining that it was well after the ball had gone through.
And it was. Luke Biles, left footer. Rangy left footer. Cahill angled the header toward Ellis. Didn't quite hit him. JW. And Northcote will clear again. Yeah. Got some space in the middle of the paddock. There's Hoskins. And what was that? Put it right on the chest of Dumbalis. Short inside Hall. Biles. Well, I think they'll enjoy getting into the halftime break, Heidelberg, and just having a rethink about where they're at in this game. We're into the last 60 seconds. We'll keep an eye on the fourth official. Can't be much time tacked on. I
think I can see just in the corner of my eye there, he's got the number 2 up. So
it's 44 and a half away. We are scoreless. Semi-final. Winner goes through to the big dance. The loser goes home. Plenty to play for. The angled ball left foot. Austin Wong goes out of play as we tick toward the end of regulation on a frigid night.
Confirmation down there. 2 minutes of added time. And I'm struggling to see how they even got 2 minutes, Greg, because there's been very little action.
Very little action. Very odd game. As well.
In fairness, Northcote probably feel a little bit hard done by.
Aggrieved.
And Harvey Reid there trying to G up all the teammates because, let's be honest, Greg, it has been very lacklustre by the Burgers. They struggle to.
Glancing header. Offley goes outside. Cahill takes in a breath, runs.
Just goes deep. Himself.
He's forced wide. Almost squeezed his way through trouble. But out of play, it's going to be a goal kick. We've got about 1:15 of stoppage time remaining. Last, possibly, play of the first half will be started by Fraser Chalmers at that
northern end.
Thank you, John. of the floodlit ABD Stadium. Even the fans that are here, I'm very quiet,
Yeah,
very subdued. I think they're all waiting for something to switch.
Yeah, it's just lacking that little bit, particularly from Heidelberg. Northcote would be absolutely delighted with their performance. Perhaps not their finishing in front of goal.
Should have scored just a few moments ago. Fraser Chalmers will launch one last raid for Northcote City in the semi-final first half, brought to you by Windsor Management.
And this player's been good, Hoskind.
JW away, Northcote will come again. We've got about 15 seconds of stoppage to play, and angling away. Theodoropoulos for Northcote. Waits for support. He'll get it. The left foot shot straight into the Heidelberg wall of defenders. JW as the referee brings the curtain down on this first half. Odd first half on HUFC TV tonight, thanks to Windsor Management. At half-time in the Dockerty Cup semi-final, the defending champs, Heidelberg 0, Northcote City 0. Heidelberg didn't bring game, and it almost went against them on the scoreboard. Yeah,
you've got to be fair, very lacklustre performance from Heidelberg. They've really had only the one effort on goal that you would credit, and that was to Attila Offley. But full credit to Northcote. They've come out here with a game plan to frustrate and negate Heidelberg, and they've been really good on the counter-attack, particularly that one effort by Jacob Iliopoulos, who Spielberg claims he taught him everything he knows. And that's a junior. Sorry, Spielberg. And but right near at the death there, Greg, you've got to say, to be fair, they should have had that lead right on half-time when they mucked about with the ball, Heidelberg, and eventually the Northcote players got in each other's way and the ball went over the bar. All to play for second half, and the Burgers will certainly want to lift their rating.
Disappointing news. It was not the most electrifying first half of football we've ever seen, but the positive news, Jay Fott, is a scoreless game in a semi-final. It's game on. It's all to play for. Stay with us. Second half action to come here from ABD Stadium tonight. Stick with us. And welcome back to ABD Stadium here in Broadmeadows for the second half of this Dockerty Cup semi-final 2018, brought to you by Windsor Management on HUFC TV. It is a cold one, down to 7 degrees for the comms team up here in the tower at ABD. It is a little bit challenging, as it would be for the players, as on a misty evening, on this Wednesday evening. And you're pointing your digit there, John.
George Katakis is struggling to make it across the field, Greg.
It is only for the staunch tonight, for the supporters that have turned out, if you're watching on HUFC TV. It's a 0-0 scoreline at half-time, all to play for. In the next 45, Northcote City will get first use of the footy, heading toward that northern end of the stadium, and it's a Northcote free kick.
I think Harvey Reid being penalised there. So
just have a look, John, just scan for changes at half-time. I don't think there have been any.
I don't believe there was any, Greg, no. So very cold at the moment, the mist. Well, if anything, it's just momentary clearing on the ground, but I reckon it'll definitely roll in later.
Silatis will get the launch for Northcote. Opening seconds of this second half. Heidelberg will clear awkwardly but successfully. JW outside right. Paints a rainbow down that outside lane in front of the grandstand. Back for Fraser Chalmers at the tree-line end of the ABD Stadium as the gun battle goes on, and Harvey Reid loses out. Dumbalis did well to match strides with Silatis and spear it back for the hyphenator. Swinbank and Harry Noon with an arm wrestle. The ball cannons loose. And Reid doing the clean-up. Again, as we pointed out in the first half of this one, it's been un-Heidelberg, un-Warrior-like tonight, John.
Yeah, but full credit to Northcote City, who brought their really good A game here tonight. They've thwarted Heidelberg just about at every attempt. So Petrie now with Dumbalis. But again, they're always seeming to have to go backwards to go forwards.
Heidelberg defending their Dockerty Cup win of last year. Silatis downfield, that'll skew out of play. Heidelberg coach's box. Adrian Zara leapt up. I'm sure he's just happy to get some exercise down there on this very, very cold night. Hey, good spot from Ange Bantis on the Book of Face. John, you...
Yeah, he said sent a message saying that 4 players, Anthony Theodoropoulos, of course Jacob Eliopoulos that we mentioned, Phil Petreski, the reserve keeper, and Marco Delic for Northcote have all played for Heidelberg Juniors at some stage. In fact, Phil Petreski played in the seniors for a season.
Luke Biles back at half field, the skipper, toe pokes it. Harry Noon gains about 15. Harry...
He's just been off colour.
He
really has been off colour tonight.
There's been one of many in the yellow and black that just haven't been switched on tonight. Harry's against Silatis, who squeezes it through traffic, running out of the danger zone. Eliopoulos retains possession. Eliopoulos not sure where he wanted to go. Finally hit Swinbank in his own penalty area. Goes straight upfield first time for Hoskins. Picked off by Offley, Petrie, and again it's
forced backwards.
It really is. Lewis tried to force it where it wasn't going to be forced, and
he's lost his footing a few times this evening, and that was another occasion there.
Bogless manoeuvring forward for Northcote, have been the better of the two sides, and went in at half-time on a high. Northcote, the host club tonight. Silatis in the penalty area, and he slashes it across the face of goal. No work required by the hyphenator.
Yeah, that was a dangerous ball played across. Trapped it well. Had 2 players, including Hoskin there at the near post. And we've got a referee calling for a replacement.
And I was watching, John, you pointed it out in the first half, J-Fod, and I was just watching then as well. Lots of bemused looks and hands gesticulating. Yeah. What's happening? What's happening here?
Yeah, they're just looking for someone to provide a spark, and often, and famously last season in that last round, Harry Noon was that player that took the game by the scruff of the neck, but they haven't been able to find anyone tonight to give them any real spark and really get the side G'd up at all.
5 minutes old, second half. ABD, 6 degrees. Windsor Management, our very, very, very good friends on HUFC TV, calling the action. Dockerty Cup semi-final number 1.
Yeah, the winner to take on Bentley Greens, who thrashed, in all fairness, last night, Port Melbourne 5-1.
In fact, semi-final number 2.
Yeah.
As JW sets off down that outside right. JW hooks it back, and Harry with a stumble.
Yeah, that's typified his night, Greg.
Yeah, that was
extraordinary.
Very much un-Harry
Noon-like.
That was a terrific driving run from Josh Wilkins.
First time he's been able to do that, Josh Wilkins, and a lovely ball in, but Harry Noon fluffed his lines completely.
Well, it's been a confounding evening.
And I can see down on our right, Greg, out of camera view, big Alex Scarbo getting some instructions, so maybe...
Well, hasn't he been in some form in recent weeks? So it might be the big number 22.
Yeah, set the game alight last Wednesday night in 2 minutes of coming on.
Lewis Hall loses out to Austin Wong. Swippenbank. Outside, Silatis, been dangerous tonight. Goes deep, drives deep, far post, almost hooks back into play, but it was already over the line, according to the near side assistant referee.
And you can see Alex Scarbo, I think they will make the change very shortly, Greg. He's coming over down below us here with the team manager, Louis Petrensis.
So first change of the game, they really did have to change. Well, they do have to change something up. We've played nearly 7 minutes, second half, in a sudden death semi-final. No score, and they just haven't looked on all evening long. Cahill, the up and under, was a blind turn over the shoulder. Charlie Beverley, and whoops, a daisy out of play. Attila Offley brought the pressure, and it's paid off. It's a corner to Heidelberg.
Well, that shows you what a bit of intent does, Greg, and a bit of intensity. Put the player under pressure, and Charlie Beverley, well, it was a very indifferent clearance, fortunately for Northcote. So only a corner.
Going to be Shawnee Ellis to take it on that grandstand side of the ground. The flame-haired Scott launches it near post. JW back flick on, nothing doing. Northcote clear, almost to midfield. Luke Biles is there, standing tall. The Iceman rifles it upfield, high. Noon brings it down for Cahill. Saw just a minuscule gap, but couldn't manoeuvre his way through. And gee, that was well played. Cheeky in the end by Mancini. Will start the ball rolling for Northcote. Theodoropoulos. And they'll just pair it back. Charlie Beverley will relaunch as he manoeuvres toward midfield. Sean Ellis looking for the big pick-off against Hoskins. Doesn't get it. Mancini. I reckon Northcote are looking really cool and calm at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, manoeuvring the ball well. And
big run now from Eliopoulos. Eliopoulos looks outside, nothing there, has to go on his own. Timely toe in from the skipper, Luke Biles. Silatis looks up. Dangerous chip into the red zone, and Ellis will hook it clear.
And Imbalis with a scrambling header that time. Tracking the run of Adam Boglis, who'd made a nice run diagonally into the box. Down below us, we got looks like Harry Noon, Greg, who's the player that'll be taken off. Who, well, to be fair, it just hasn't been his night tonight, has it?
No. So Harry Noon, he's walking very, very slowly, and almost reluctantly to the sideline, ironically. It hasn't been Harry Noon's night on a full moon night here in Melbourne.
Indeed. It'll be a big Alex Scarvo, Greg, as we said.
So Alex will get the look in. He's got about 35 minutes to do some damage and change the course of this scoreless semi-final. The big number 22, Two Little Ducks, Alex Scarvo. Had a couple of really, really memorable appearances or games from Alex in recent weeks.
Scored in his last 2 games and
scored the only goal against Northcote last time around.
Yeah, indeed he did. And as we said last week, virtually within 2 minutes of coming on, scored the goal and then set up the last minute winner in the 94th or 5th minute of play.
Northcote in control at the back. Fraser Chalmers, first time outside, off the side of the boot. Takes a cannon off Heliopolis. Heidelberg throw. Ellis will leave it for Wilkins. Ellis now in traffic. Manoeuvres his way through. Gingerly. Square ball. Petrie. Offley. Long way out from the target. Cahill, top of the box. Back to goal. Copped a bit of a scragging. JW. Can't get up ahead of steam. Angles it back. Lewis, long striding, launches it almost over the top for Offley. Cleared. Silatis goes to ground.
Yeah, just got ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly. Really?
Yeah, well, it was just about there, Greg. Played for it well.
Yes, indeed he did, John Fodinos.
Yes, well.
I know, I'm flapping my hands around, trying to keep them warm. Played 11, second half.
Yep.
John Fodinos.
The Northern Derby, it's in fairness been a little bit of a fizzer so far, but full credit to Northcote. They've been the better side on the evening so far.
But that does mean we've got very much a game to be won. Nobody leaves here tonight without a W or a defeat. Lewis Hall. Away by Charlie Beverley. Under pressure is Theodoropoulos. Keeps his cool. Square ball. Left, right. Silatis. Round the corner ball for the striding away is Mancini. Mancini checks inside Ellis. Mancini. Edge of the penalty area. Squares it and wasted in the end. Just skewed wide of the mark. I think it was Swivenbank.
Yeah, great opportunity. They played that well down the right wing. Lovely square ball to an unmarked Swivenbank. And you've got to say that's a poor... In fact, it was Theodoropoulos, was it, in the end?
It was indeed.
But that was a poor return for such a good piece of play.
And again, they've certainly shown that they have the cards in the hand to be very much in this contest. Northcote City, we've played 12-20 second half, no score.
Yes, they've certainly seemed the more likely on the evening. But as you said, there's over half an hour to go, so a long way to go.
Cahill was gentle, perhaps a little too. And Heliopolis clears for Northcote. Heidelberg throw. They'll go again. JW, grandstand side. Petrie, JW. Down the line. Offley let it run. Alex powered after it. To no avail.
Of course, both these teams play at Sunday at 4 p.m. Heidelberg will be hosting Pascoe Vale, who's one of the informed teams at the moment. And Northcote City will face South Melbourne in a big relegation battle. Of course, Greg, we must mention the FFA Cup draw last night. All 5 Victorian non-A League sides drew home fixtures. Northcote City will take on Apia Leichhardt from the New South Wales Premier League, and Heidelberg will host Charlestown Blues, or Charlestown City Blues, I beg your pardon, from Northern New South Wales Premier League.
Featuring the extravagance of Ljubo Milicevic. Yes. He's their featured player in 2018. Kale puts pressure on Fraser Chalmers. Got it away, though, in time. To the Northcote goalkeeper. 14 nearly played, and we're still scoreless. JW looks up, hoist it long. The leap is going to be Cahill. No, doesn't waste a leap on that because it's straight into the breadbasket of Fraser Chalmers. He rolls it quickly for Theodoropoulos. Outside they go. There's a calmness about Northcote right now. They're well in this game. Mancini, Silatis.
Yes, you wouldn't think they're They're in a relegation scrap at the moment because they certainly look composed.
Swivenbank back for the skipper, Beverley. Down the outside, left lane, far side, and out of play.
Yeah, who was that tangling there? It looked like it was... is that JW there, Greg? That tangled with the Northcote player.
And they make up, and they're all smiles and handshakes.
Yeah, that was Will Hoskins and JW just getting entangled, but all out for a Heidelberg goal kick on that far northern side there.
So around 30 minutes remaining here at Broady tonight.
Almost came out of the mist like an apparition there, did Chris Theodoridi.
So it will be the hyphenator, right foot, up and under. Cahill, Chavo couldn't reach it. Northcote have the numbers. Ellis brings the pressure on the goalkeeper, who was wise enough to swing and hoof the ball clear upfield. Heidelberg will get another play out of this one. Sideline ball, JW in front of the grandstand. It looks mighty warm over there behind the glass, doesn't it?
Certainly way warmer than us. I was in there earlier this evening. It's actually quite warm in there. I had to take the jacket off.
Offly for Ellis, who squared it. There was no one home. Ellis did really well. Second time out. Dumbalis and Alex. Well, he looked with anguish after his header.
Yeah, just came in
was
behind
off
him.
the mark.
There's a ball whipped in by Dumbalis. Lovely left foot cross. But he was always ahead of that ball and couldn't twist the body around to get any power on that, and nor the direction, Greg.
Oh, 16 played, second half.
But again there, Greg, didn't we see there just for a moment a bit of hesitation, lack of communication, one player leaving it for the other? They just don't look switched on, Greg. They need a spark at the moment.
Which is almost a profound switch from Sunday, when probably they put together the best team performance of the season. Lewis Hall with strength, Sean Ellis. Luke Biles waits, carves a path for Dumbalis.
Down the line.
Long ball for Cahill. Outside left lane. Gets pressured, double teamed, squeezes it through. Ellis to the line, left foot back and cleared from the top of the 6-yard area. Dumbalis quickly with the throw. Shawnee Ellis, is he the factor? He's on his right this time, did well, glancing header. Chavo right across the face, stays in play.
Well, I reckon that came off his shoulder, Greg, I reckon, in the end. It's great play by Sean Ellis, though. Beautiful move, twisting out of trouble.
What is needed right now is a light switch, and it's got to come from the likes of Sean Ellis, who can produce those sort of moments.
Well, Alex Chavo's already made
JW driving. JW hooks it back. Chalmers, Cahill, Chalmers.
Free kick. Keeper's ball.
And I'm okay with that. I'd love you to interpret the free kick for me.
Inside the 6-yard box, the keepers get absolutely protected.
Yeah, don't they, though? Let's watch it again as JW drives.
Yeah, just bodied him off the ball, Greg.
Well, yeah, of course. It's an obviously free kick. Lala landed Fraser Chalmers. Goes long to midfield, 18 played. Biles will turn it back to Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos. Goes long. Alex is going to bring the pressure. Alex chases it down. Oh, almost paid off. Chalmers straight into the small of the back of Eliopoulos, and Chavo was ready to pounce.
He wore one there, did Eliopoulos, but a bounce back obligingly for the keeper. But hasn't Alex Chavo made a difference already?
Dumbalis, open lane, Chavo, square, Cahill can't reel it in. Offley turns, right foot, Attila Offley, Predator, keeps possession, Predator for Cahill, cleared, only as far as Petrie. Ellis again, it's all happening down there, but they can't get a clean hit as the referee's coming in to call a free kick
on
against Sean Ellis on the player on the ground.
I think it's Eliopoulos again, Greg, might be.
Sean Ellis is pleading a case. Oh, yellow card, Sean Ellis. Are we getting the second look on the replay? We're not. So,
They were lining up, Greg. Yeah, they were lining up there.
That was ridiculous. That was like comedy capers then.
And they just couldn't force it over the line. But certainly since Alex Scavo's come on, you can see a definite change in this game. Heidelberg's starting to get the ball in the box.
They had to change something up, John. Had to change something up. We've played 65 minutes almost, and now the concern is with Jacob Eliopoulos, who's down in the penalty area.
But certainly Scavo and Ellis now starting to become influential in this game.
Somebody had to, John. Somebody had to step up tonight because it just wasn't happening earlier in the game.
And in the end, Jack Petrie was the one who tried to get the shot on goal, couldn't get a shot, had back to Ellis, he crossed it in, and eventually Ellis diving in. Northcote will make a change. It'll be Austin Wong, the player that's coming off, and Bardi Hisoli, the player to come on 20 minutes in the second half. So we've still got 25 minutes plus stoppage, Greg, and
no
score yet.
Both sides have gone to the well once tonight now. So Bardi Hisoli checks in for Northcote City in a still scoreless game, thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers. In terms of HUFC TV, as Fraser Chalmers clears, Ellis balloons the header downfield. Desperate clearance. It'll be a throw to Heidelberg. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 7:30, the weekend pump. We'll look at what's happening in the week ahead, and we'll talk to you about our broadcast matches in just a moment. No women's game this weekend, bear in mind. As Dumbalis takes the throw to the chest of Cahill. He's outnumbered again, tries to win it back. Petrie got the foot in. Ellis hesitated.
And again they waited for each other.
Northcote will clear. Sean Ellis just took way too much time then as Biles tries to get the foot around the body. In the end, the hard work done by Jack Petrie. The ball skewed out of play. It's going to be a throw-in to Northcote City. Looking ahead to the weekend, no women's game on Saturday. They're looking for 5 in a row because they were playing Calder, who are in the Team Out Cup final. And then Sunday, it's live action on HUFC TV from Catalina Street, 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard, as Heidelberg host Pascoe.
And neither side, Greg, will want to go into extra time tonight because or penalties, because that's just going to make their task at the weekend. Both teams with big games coming up, as we said. Northcote City will be taking on South Melbourne in a potential 6-pointer there in the battle to avoid the drop. And Heidelberg, of course, who regained top spot last Sunday, face a very, very informed Pascoe Vale.
And that, of course, the Pascoe Vale game, the corresponding fixture earlier in the year. Who's going to forget that one? In the meantime, there's a semi-final to be won. JW takes control, wrests control, runs square to the half line. Dumbalis outside left. Ellis short inside. Alex back fat. Sean Ellis outside run from Dumbalis. Picks him perfectly. Inside. Chavo right foot. Calls for a handball. Didn't look like
hand
it
was
from
at the
up
side.
Here. Did not look like it from up here, but it will be a corner nevertheless to Heidelberg. So Alex, fresh legs, fresh attitude, and
excellent decision by the referee there. The hand was by the side, cannon into the top of the arm.
Jack Petrie is going to take the corner, the little jumping jack. He's worked, as he always does, so hard tonight in a Heidelberg team that's just been off colour to some degree. Northcote clearance, Sean.
Oh, he got taken down.
He did get taken down. It was a very late call from the ref. We got it nevertheless.
Yeah, just waiting to see if there was an advantage there, but certainly none there.
Not sure he couldn't have predicted it anyway. But anyway, Sean, there is the free kick. And
quite a clear free kick despite the protest.
So is there a moment of memorable magic to come in this deadlocked and rather dour semi-final?
Well, to be fair, Greg, in the last 5 or 10 minutes, Heidelberg are starting to win possession and starting to pin Northcote back a little.
So you can see the spot of the free kick. So Petrie's in the discussion.
Of course, no Ruben Wade tonight, so
Ellis is certainly in the frame for this.
Got Dumbalis lurking back.
So Ellis steps away, has a think about it. Petrie just trying to read the angles and see if there's any weak spots in the wall. He's barking instructions. Ellis, 3-step drop and...
Oh, just wide, Greg, in the end.
Holy moly, I thought that was home for a moment as Ellis's...
Well, it was Hartsey moments mouth there because Hartsey, just wide in the end. I think the keeper was beaten, Greg, well and truly that time. Had that
he was just in time to watch it wing past that far post, and Sean Ellis almost nailing the critical now go-ahead goal in this semi-final with 20 to play. Thanks to Windsor Management, exclusive coverage to HUFC TV of this.
It almost cut a clear path through the mist there, Greg.
In fact, the mist has started to dissipate a little bit. However, the frigid air...
It's taking over.
He says around about 6 degrees. I know you said at half-time you couldn't feel your feet. I'm pretty much rocking that same boat, Jay Fott. It is very, very cold up here in the broadcast tower at ABD.
Thank God for these headsets, I can say.
Well, so Northcote will relaunch. They've been really brave tonight, Northcote City, and still well in this up to their ears with 20 to play. So Lardis angles inside edge of the box, and it looked good off the boot, and it just started to lift and lift like a Wright brothers plane, and in the end it had takeoff. Yeah,
it was certainly nice run inboard, but I think he sliced across that shot and it was always rising and well over the crossbar in the end.
So Chris Theodorides Petropolis hasn't been called on too often tonight. It's been a special season for the hyphenator. And
dare I say it, Greg, he might be needed later on as one of the, should we go there to penalty kicks, his action might be called upon.
So it goes to extra time, of course. If they're still locked together, it goes to penalties. Petrie, Chavo, header on.
Again, Chavo slipping there. Sean Ellis makes a...
Oh, it's been slippery out there all night. Petrie knocks it for Cahill. Cahill again tried to squeeze through a gap that almost wasn't there, and he loses the run of the footy. Semi-final action. 27 played. Second half. Locked together. 0-0. Northern neighbours. Well done, Petrie, then for Ellis. Reed. Outside man is Josh Wilkins. Had nowhere to go. Reed. Hall. Measured build-up from Heidelberg as the Iceman, Luke Biles, steps into this front half. Chavo, Cahill sees outside. Sean Ellis, long, deep, dangerous. Not quite Offley who was making the late run. Petrie, first time, top of the box again. Chavo worked so hard then. Cahill, back to goal. Turns!
Well, they're peppering now, Greg. They're starting to get into their stride. Lovely turn there, Chavo to Petrie. And in the end, Tom Cahill squeezing it just past the keeper.
I loved the way Alex Chavo just... He had to fight hard for that. He needed to win it. And he did. There you go, 6 degrees.
6 degrees, yes, confirmation.
Absolutely. So, as the comms team, John on camera, Spielberg on the dials tonight, back in action. Jay Fott and myself as the hypothermia starts to set in.
Northcote free kick.
We are 28.5 minutes into this second half in a scoreless game.
And it's only in the last 10 minutes or so, and it's been no coincidence since apparently my favourite player, Alex Scarvo. And a big shout out to the Scarvo family.
I knew you would do that.
Well, I do that.
Ingratiate yourself to people, and
I reckon they'd be at least 10 or 15 degrees warmer than
Charlie Beverley launches it long. Dumbalis. Oh dear, Northcote Nothing doing. Denied by Les Dumbalis. Swings it high and long.
And in the interest
JW with the leap. No, it's Offley with the leap. Sorry, John.
I was going to say, in the interest of fair play, a big shout out to the Ellis family watching overseas. And to all our other viewers watching overseas.
Yeah, no, why not? Yeah. Everybody loves you, J-Fod, don't worry.
The tickets of myself,
You do, you really do. Oh, Dumbalis. Oops-a-daisy. Northcote through Heliopolis. Again, we're still scoreless. We're getting deep into this semi-final. Run from Mancini through midfield. Well done, Shawnee Ellis. Won the ball, won the free kick, Sean. Showing the way, flying the flag, the Scotsman.
Great body work and great skill that time by Sean Ellis.
So it's 0-0, free kick, Heidelberg. About 2 strides back inside their own half. The captain will take it. Gives a lot of looks. Still unsure. He's making the call. Cahill running from outside into the red zone. He hits that man. Cahill keeps it down. Petrie skewed it, angled, bouncer. Reed wins in the air. Well done, Harvey. Lewis didn't know much about it, but managed to edge the ball into the favour of Jack Petrie, who earns the free kick. Quickly taken as the outside lane dash from JW is thwarted by the referee's whistle, and they'll have to start again. 31 played. Second half. Well, it's tense and it's tight.
Sure is, Greg. To see Heidelberg's just starting to slowly get on top. It's not by any means emphatic at the moment, but they are certainly trying.
Harvey Reed. Cahill gets a nudge. Sean keeps it in play. Toe poke back into the danger zone, into the red zone. Cahill chases it down. Controls it. Silatis onto it though. Lewis, good anticipation. Turns it round the corner. Silatis with the pick-off. Lewis comes again. Silatis waits, and that time he can give it neatly. Hoskins back for Mancini. Great win, Jack. Cahill wants to launch. Waits. Patient. Petrie. Hooks it. Chavos, the danger man, takes a cannon. Northcote will clear. A scampering run.
There's got men on here now, Greg.
They're in getting forward in numbers, and as Reed, great anticipation from the through ball from Madaferi. Northcote again. Silatis, danger. Dumbalis says red alert back to yellow alert as Northcote will get the throw in at that northern end of the ground.
Be a corner kick, I think, Greg. The assistant referee, I think, pointing to the corner there.
Indeed. It is literally red alert back to yellow alert, but still only dialed back slightly as Silatis will take the corner for Northcote in a scoreless game. Now the hourglass is crucial. We've got about 12 minutes of regulation to play in a scoreless knockout semi-final at ABD tonight. Corner goes very deep. Over Cahill. Danger. Pummeled clear. Only just. Blue shirts there. That was silly in the end. That was an easy ball for Reed to pick off. Offley gives chase. Haven't seen much of the Predator tonight as
Jack Petrie.
Swiven back.
Great.
Gets robbed by Petrie.
And a ball across the field. Both players running through the middle.
And the Northcote player, Mancini, lets it run and will get the throw in for the host club tonight. 33 played. Northcote City 0, Heidelberg 0 in the Dockerty Cup semi-final, brought to you by Windsor Management Insurance Brokers. It's very brisk here at ABD tonight as Biles.
A free kick to Luke Biles there. Theodoropoulos with a high foot. Or was it Hoskin, I think it might have been.
Well, either and it's another change. Heidelberg, Northcote, I should say, will be going to the bench again. Marco Delic coming into the game.
And Madafri, the player coming off, Greg. So the number 16, Madaffrey, being replaced by the number 12, Delic. And as Ange, one of our great friends, told us, an ex-Heidelberg junior player. Now for Northcote. So it'll be a free kick to Heidelberg, Greg.
Luke Biles to launch it almost on the half line. The captain takes the responsibility again. 11 to play in regulation cup semi-final. Lewis was strong at the front of the contest, but it's an odd one. It is an odd one, isn't it?
More threatening, but haven't really put sustained pressure on Northcote.
Ellis, I mean, the weather conditions aren't doing anybody any favours as well. It's cold, the surface is slippery. Tumbalis gets Chavo, who saw the open run of Offley. Ellis is there. Free kick called against Chavo.
Getting in the back of Theodoropoulos that time, as judged by the referee.
Thankfully, he was the only person at the stadium that saw it. And he's going to take some time to have a chat too. Who's he talking to?
They're saying the ball's played from 5 or 6 metres too far forward, so they'll bring it back and restart.
So it is 36 minutes into the second half. It is a gripping struggle, if nothing else.
It's never risen to any great heights, this game, but
that really hasn't. But it's going to be a thrill ride down to the final whistle, because it's anyone's game. You don't need me to tell you that if you're watching on HUFC TV.
That's the new player.
That's Delic. His first touch was almost on the money for Silatos. In the end, though, the Predator steps away. Can he whip up a head of steam? He can't. First one, then two come back to force him outside. He'll get the throw, takes it quickly. Lewis Hall. Reed back for the hyphenator. Taking a stroll outside his penalty area. Tumbalis read that better. Luke Biles. Deep back left. Cahill, the header. Oh, that was well read and stolen by Eliopoulos.
He's going to go
again. There's still well in this. Eliopoulos loping toward the penalty area. Hit Silatos. Couldn't quite control it as he might have wished. Isoli back for Boglis. Isoli. Silatos. And they're manoeuvring it around, but all for naught. 37-30 played. Long and high, that's more dangerous. Not if you're Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos. Almost laconically.
The early
drag, and he hits Sean Ellis. Ellis rolls inside one challenge, heads towards the danger zone. Cahill gets bodied, doesn't matter. Tommy lasered one in. But Fraser Chalmers was the equal of it and batted it away.
Great run by Sean Ellis that time, setting up Tom Cahill, whose shot was at a nice, comfortable height for the keeper in the end.
Biles, JW, they're coming forward again. Cahill was from an offside position. Attila Offley went to ground. Nothing in it though, and Northcote will come clear. Hoskins stopped at midfield, looking for the substitute. Luke Biles knew all about it, read the situation perfectly. Reed outside, JW. That time he got through the hole. JW once, twice, Scrag, nothing. Open lane for Ellis, and it was a centimetre away from hitting Sean Ellis.
Great covering tackle, Greg, that time by Northcote.
So this time, they're going to slug it out. I reckon the last 7 minutes, 6 minutes rather.
It's opened up
Reed through the middle. Chavo got some acreage, sees the outside option. Sean Ellis curls it, top of the box. Back to goal. Offley Reid made a hash of that. And
offside,
Chavo
offside.
didn't matter anyway. He sliced that away into the night air.
And Bizarra looks like coming on, Greg.
So, the change will come. Jumping Jack again. He just works. He works.
He's done a good shift.
He's fantastic. But you don't need a workhorse right now. You need a game changer.
Yeah,
you need an electric light switch. You need electric spark. And Adrian Zara might be the one.
Yeah, there's that replay again, Greg, of the earlier shot by Tom Cale. Spun and batted away in the end by Fraser Chalmers. And, well, we're down to just over 5 minutes.
5 minutes. We'll keep a keen eye on the fourth official. All we need now is...
one of the two match balls. That would be handy.
A spherical object made of leather with with air in it. Going to be sent. There you go.
Yeah, the air
Not too hard.
The air conveys.
There you go. It's just not the same without the ball out on the ground, is it?
A bit like shadow boxing.
It's going to be levity in the last 5 minutes. Dramatic. If uninspired semi-final, first touch, Mexican, Adrian Zara. Les Dumbalis, Sean Ellis. Inside, Alex. Outside, Dumbalis, Mexican. Oh, cheeky, Dumbalis. Dumba goes deep. Attila there. Angled their header back. Powered into the air by High Soley. Got away with it. JW with the win. JW with the drive. JW to the edge of the penalty area.
Shot was blocked.
Oh, Zara was brave. They get the spill though, Northcote.
Then over here, Greg.
Yes, indeed. Oh, swinging a switch by Silatus. Gets the ball outside for the sub. Delic, and that was wasted in the end by Northcote, who are in this up to their necks. Northcote City in the semi-final. It's 0-0, 3.5 to play plus stoppage time. How much will there be, John? Can't be too much.
Well, I think a couple of minutes perhaps.
We're going to extra time, I reckon, here at... no, I'll never call it. Heidelberg, the Cardiac Kids. Offley, stutter steps. Cahill through the gap this time. Cahill,
great
ball. Fraser Chalmers was brilliant. Then as Zara goes to ground, Zara goes to ground, and it will be a penalty controversy in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Let's have a look at that on the replay. The ball came out to Zara, stepped around one challenge, and got clipped, and maybe that was just outside, Greg. I'm not sure.
Well,
it was very close.
I said a moment ago, John, I'm not going to call it. The Cardiac Kids.
And interestingly enough, who's stepping up to take it? Where's the keeper, Greg? Is keeper Christianopoulos there?
He's actually... Where is...
I've lost sight of him, Greg.
This is odd. It's a penalty to Heidelberg. There he is.
Back in his own
goal. Was behind his... So
after the miss at on last Wednesday...
Well, on a night that's been quite surreal, for so many, we actually literally lost a goalkeeper for a minute there, and it's going to be Sean Ellis against...
I think he did that on purpose, Greg.
Fraser Chalmers to decide if the Warriors go on to defend the Dockerty Cup in 2018. What drama here at ABD, just as it looked as if we were petering out to a scoreless draw. We still may be. Sean Ellis, back from injury that he got against Northcote. Revenge is sweet. 1-0 Heidelberg. And the factor who was out of the game at Northcote earlier in the year on a stretcher comes back tonight to haunt Northcote with a penalty that makes it 1-0.
There it is. He went down to the keeper's left, and Chalmers was going the other way. And, well, on 88 minutes, Greg, we've said it ad infinitum.
Yeah, don't call it.
The Cardiac Kids have done it again, have they?
Don't call it yet, but the Cardiac Kids may well have plucked one from where it ought not be plucked once again.
Yep, indeed. And it was Zara that time that won the penalty. But they certainly have been better towards the latter stages of this half, particularly since Scavo and now Zara have come on. certainly a lot more attacking intensity. And Northcote now, they've just got to throw everything at it, Greg, don't they?
I'll tell you what, if the Cardiac kids didn't have legs before tonight, it surely has now. Never discount the Warriors. Attila off flea, powers away the Predator. Woo woo, he's on the run, drives deep. Oh, just a little too long for Cahill. 30 seconds remaining. Curled back, Cahill for Dumbalis. Always dangerous. Les Dumbalis shears it through the night sky and picked off by Fraser Chalmers.
Going to have to work back now, Greg.
44 and a half.
Does brilliantly, does Dumbalis that
44 and a half played. It's a 1-0 game, semi-final, cutthroat, fourth official. Still haven't seen him up with his board yet. It's a throw into Northcote. Tension now in this game.
4 minutes, Greg.
4 minutes, goodness gracious me. And that will start right now.
Yep.
So, 4 minutes to play in a 1-0 Cup semi-final. Thanks to Windsor Management, John on camera, Spielberg on the dials, Jay Fonten Blakey calling it. As that ball is smashed down by Luke Biles from Hoskins, and it's going to be a corner to Northcote. So it ain't over till it's over. This time,
there was that crossing.
This time last week, we saw 2 goals and a send-off in injury time in a Dockerty Cup tie.
I don't think we can get that dramatic this week. It just hasn't had that feel about it. But
this is incredible stuff.
Would you rule it out, Greg? You wouldn't rule it out, would you?
The Heart Attack kids get a pen on 88, and Sean Ellis nails it. But white knuckled still here at ABD. Northcote corner. Away in the end. It is Adrian Zara. He just whacked it first time.
JW
Fraser Chalmers. JW knows that Fraser Chalmers is top of the screen. You see him now. He was running like a shadow against JW. Oh, they are throwing it all. Northcote, as they should. Outside by Zara for Cahill. He'll get a run at it. He's got a lane to run in. Cahill into the box. That's got to be a penalty. 2 penalties.
Well, this could be trouble here for the Northcote player, Greg. Yellow card.
Well. They got opened up. They were throwing everybody forward. They got opened up. Let's see it again.
Yeah, taken down that one. Well, if the first one had any doubt about it, this second one, absolutely no doubt. Got taken down from behind. And that was the mistake there by the number 15, Mancini, who got caught in possession.
Not a lot he could do.
Yeah, just, they had to roll the dice, didn't they, Greg?
So the Cardiac kids give us Heart Attack territory again. It may be, in the end, a 2-goal match. It's going to be the Top Cat who's going to take the penalty, is he? Sean Ellis has stepped well away from the action, so... The top, that's a very odd...
Well, he won the penalty, I guess.
So they're going to reward him with the goal.
Yeah, maybe.
We've had 2 minutes 20 of time added on. Tom Cahill, hands on hips, evaluates against Fraser Chalmers. And
puts it away.
Belts it. Does the Top Cat. More relief than anything else in that celebration. Heidelberg 2-0. It's safe now. Well, I'm not even going to call it now. We've got... about 1:30 to play in second half stoppage time. And
easily taken there in the end. I think Northcote realised now.
On a laser.
Yeah, just smashed it into that right-hand corner. But, you got to feel for Northcote, Greg, in many ways. They've given a real big yelp tonight. Could have taken the lead just before half-time. And in the last, in the dying embers of this game, 2 penalties, one to... Sean Ellis and one to the Top Cat, Tom Cahill, making it 2-0 for Heidelberg, and it will be, I would imagine, a repeat of last year's Dockerty Cup final.
So I reckon we've got about 60 seconds to come in stoppage time, but it's... I'll go and get a cuppa now. The Warriors are home. They're marching in to defend the Dockerty Cup in what should be a monster rematch against the Bentley Greens. Silardis, he's given it all tonight for Northcote. Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos.
Oh, is he okay? Did he get clipped there? Looks like he'll be fine.
That's all right for you.
Well, he looks okay.
He does. 48.50 off the ticker. Thanks to Windsor Management. And Sean Ellis at midfield as the referee says that's all there is. There isn't any more. Heidelberg United, three-peat champions in 2017, get the chance to step up and defend one of those three titles against the Bentley Greens with a 2-0 semi-final win here at an eerily misty ABD Stadium on a chilling Wednesday night. The story of the game, well, it wasn't all that extravagant when you replay it. In the end, it was two Pens that won it. 88 minutes into the... We're 88 minutes into a scoreless game. We're 88 minutes in. So what happens? The cardiac kids. Here we go again. Here we go again.
It's almost as if on cue, Greg.
They can't do it any other way but with drama. They are the Greta Garbo of the NPL. Everything's a drama. Penalty on 88, Sean Ellis. Penalty on after 3 minutes of stoppage time. That settles it. Northcote, brave and gutsy and tenacious, are out of the competition. Heidelberg are off with a date with destiny in the Dockerty Cup final.
Yeah, chance to go back-to-back, Greg, against the other finalists from last season, Bentley Greens. But what an amazing finish, Greg. It all happened, as we said, in the last few minutes of play. Adrian Zara taken down just inside the box, judged by the referee. And then into injury time, Tommy Cale taken down in the box. Both penalties converted. Not Heidelberg's best ever performance, but they're into another final, Greg.
Now, look at the supporters there, the travelling supporters. They're applauding players off for for three reasons. One, they won the game. Two, they did it late and gave them a bit of a adrenaline pump there at the end. And three, because they all get to get in the car, crank the heater up and get home. So there's Tommy Cale's penalty that iced the cake here tonight. I love you guys, but I want to get off air really quickly.
Yeah. Join us tomorrow for the weekend pump.
We've got the weekend pump tomorrow night. Hey, thanks to John on camera, and we'll just check up there because hopefully he's just not a frozen...
Yeah, rigor mortis may have set in, I think.
Right up on the top of the tower, Spielberg again, weaving his artistic magic, as he always does on HUFC TV. Jay Fott, co-hort caller with me, who's always there for you when you need him. And, of course, it's Blakey. So I've got no idea
Blakey.
where I'm going.
Big game on Sunday, Greg, with Pascoe.
Yeah, don't forget, pumped, as John said, 7:30 tomorrow night. No women's game on Saturday. We go to Sunday, 4 o'clock. Pascoe should be a monster game. That's all there is on semi-final night of the Dockerty Cup. Thanks to Windsor Management. We will catch you on HUFC TV very soon. Cheerio for now.